Hey, I think most of you out there might already be aware that Colion Noir has labeled poor little old me the most toxic person in the gun community. The most toxic person. That's quite a label there. And you know what? I wear that label with pride. It's like a badge of honor to me. And you know why it's a badge of honor to me? It's because of why they think I'm toxic. They define me as toxic because I call them out on their shit. And they're like, how dare you call me out on my shit? I'm above such things. How dare you? No, you're not. To paraphrase one of our great poets and philosophers, did I say something true? Oops, I didn't know I couldn't talk about you. What was I thinking? See, that's what's got them mad, that I dare talk about them and call them out. And the reason they get mad is because they don't have the record to defend themselves. You see, these people are fakes, frauds, fudds, carpetbaggers, profiteers, etc. Opportunistic capitalists, etc. They're not real Second Amendment people. They're people that know, hey, if I said the right things and did the right things and rubbed palms with the right people, I could make a lot of money at this. And I like guns, so I might as well get some scratch out of it. That's most of them. They're not pro-2A. They're maybe pro-gun, but they're not pro-2A. They're more pro-money and pro-themselves. And you know how you can tell one of the ones that, then when they don't have anything that they can do to back themselves up, to say, hey, look at what I've been doing all along. When they can't do that, you know what they say instead? We need to unify. You shouldn't be piling on me. Oh, poor little me. I'm a victim. We all need to be unified. And the funny thing is, these are the same people that were saying, we all need to unify with the NRA up to just a few weeks ago because it was lining their pockets. And that's what they cared about. Like I said, they're not pro-2A. They're pro-profit. They're pro-money. They're pro-places of power that can help them make money. They want to be on the board. They want to be a representative of the NRA. They want to get lots of views. They want to blow stuff up and say the right things to make a lot of money. But they don't want to defend your Second Amendment rights. And you know what? I don't got a problem with people not being pro-2A. Most people aren't. There are some people out there that are pro-2A, but most of them are just pro-gun. And I made a video on the difference between being pro-2A and pro-gun, and I'll put a link in the upper corner of this video to it, so you can go over and see what I mean a little more in depth. But most people are pro-gun but not pro-2A. If you go, I believe in the Second Amendment, but, well, then you're not pro-2A, because there's no but in the Second Amendment. You're pro-gun. And you know what? I have no problem with you being pro-gun. I hope that eventually you will become pro-2A. There's a place in this fight and in this community for pro-2A people and pro-gun people. But what there's not a place in this community for is people who go, look at me, I'm pro-2A, I'm the guy who's pro-2A, I'm the one that's been fighting the fight. And they ain't been fighting the fight. They've been profiteering. They've been talking the talk. They've just been looking out for themselves. They've been like, oh, we need to be willing to make reasonable compromises. And, oh, don't worry about bump stocks. Nobody wants those anyway. And, oh, don't worry about red flag laws. Pay no attention to that. Pay no attention to any of that stuff. That stuff's not important. Those people aren't pro-2A. Those people are working the system to make some money. Usually from the NRA or from views or from, blowing up stuff on their channels. That's what they care about, and that's fine. But when they pretend to be pro-2A, they muddy the fucking waters to the point that people that are pro-gun, who could possibly evolve to be pro-2A, don't. Because they're like, well, I thought maybe I was wrong. Maybe I should be more pro-2A, but Hickok doesn't seem to think I need to change. Demolition Ranch hasn't said anything wrong with what I think. Colion Noir agreed with a lot of the NRA positions. So they think, well, I guess I'm okay to have my butt in the Second Amendment. No, that's not what the Second Amendment is about. You've been listening to all the wrong people. Those people don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about gun rights as a whole. They care about themselves. They care about their hobbies. They care about making money. They have become industries. They have become brands. And that's all they care about, continuing to be a brand. And when you call them out and you point out how hollow they actually are, how they're all just for show and they don't really do anything of any benefit to any of us, and you start to say, why should we support you when you're not willing to fight? That's when they get mad. And they act like it's your fault that you call them out. Oh, how dare you call me out? That's all on you. That people notice now that I never actually walk the walk. I just talk the talk. When people find out that I promoted compromise we shouldn't make, and when people find out I'm muddy in the water, when people find out I'm, just a shill, that's your fault for calling me out. And to those people, I quote the same great poet and philosopher, I'm not your bitch. Don't hang your shit on me. It's not my fault that you don't have a record you can stand on. It's not my fault that you want to play victim and call for unity when you are not the person we should be unifying with. You should step out of the fucking way. You should either stand up and say, you know what, I'm just about guns and making some money, and I'm not really here for the fight. You shouldn't listen to me on what organization, because I like to make money. And I like to play with guns. And I really don't think much of the rest of you. Hickok 45, by the way, that's what he thinks. So if they did that, that'd be one thing, because then there wouldn't be people that are on that evolutionary process from pro-gun to pro-2A who get sidetracked by these fucking frauds that are draining people the wrong direction. When they should be moving to more 2A, they drag them right back to just being pro-gun and being, people who make reasonable compromises. There's no such thing as reasonable compromise with the Second Amendment. It's just incremental surrender. So those people need to go. And if they don't like being called out, too bad. Maybe you should have done something. Instead of promoting your next project or your next class or making money or promoting the NRA or selling products and getting discount codes while pretending like you're some great Second Amendment warrior, maybe you should have actually been fighting. In my history on YouTube, I don't hide what I'm thinking. I do what I'm thinking. I say what I'm thinking. I have a little bit of a problem with that sometimes. So now I don't have to sit back and say, like someone who's some of the bigger channels, and go, oh, well, when I was blowing up that washing machine, I was really also behind the scenes doing this and talking to these people. No, you weren't. When I was doing it, I made a video that I was up talking to my senators and my congressmen, because I actually did it. I didn't have to talk about it later like, oh, it was in my head when I was shooting that pumpkin. I was really thinking about, boy, people need to be able to own automatic weapons. No, you weren't, or you would have said, people need to be able to own automatic weapons. You look back on my things, you see, you don't have to wonder, do I think felons should have gun rights? I've said it. You haven't, because you don't believe it. But you want to make people think you're pro-2A. People don't have to wonder what I thought about the Castile case when it comes to things like race and guns, because I said it. You didn't, because it might have cost you a sub. I don't worry about subs. A lot of people think I attack bigger channels to make subs. You don't make subs doing that. You lose them. If you just look at my analytics here's where I attacked Colin Noir, lost subs. Here's where I attacked Hickok, lost subs. Here's where I attacked Colin Noir, Hickok, and, Quang and Bang, lost more subs. You lose subs when you attack bigger channels. And since I'm demonetized pretty much, I don't make money off views, so there's no profit in this for me. I'm just saying what I think needs to be said. That's why I'm here. So for those people out there that never say what they're thinking because they don't want you to know what they're thinking, well, when we call you on it, don't act like you're a fucking martyr because you've somehow now been called to say something publicly. Or people are like, I really question your commitment. And if you get upset about that, too fucking bad. Too fucking bad. I'm sorry, but all you, like I said, Fudds, carpetbaggers, shills, frauds, those people who want to pretend to be pro-A when you're anything but, my opinion of all y'all is just fuck you with a rusty shovel. I don't care for any of you. I don't want to be friends with you. Don't want to rub palms with you at a shoot. Don't want to get my picture taken with you. Like, look, I'm almost famous because I'm standing with someone famous. I don't want to do any of that. There's been a reason I've never gotten involved in that stuff, because I don't want to be people's buddy. Because when you're their buddy, you kind of go like, I've got to give them a pass on being a a fake and a fraud and an asshole. Well, I don't got to give you a pass. I don't have to at all. It ain't going to. And you want to call me out? Call me out. Like I said, my record speaks for itself. I've told people what I think. I've stood up for what I think. I haven't left it a mystery. So there ain't very much mystery about me on my YouTube channel. So if you want to bitch, well, why don't you bring it to me and bitch? Every time I ask one of you come on in and tell your side of the story, you run off and play victim and try to be like, I'm taking the high road. I couldn't possibly talk to that person. He's so toxic. Really, the answer is you got nothing to say. You can't defend yourself. So you want to stay in the safety of your own channel, your buddies' channels, where no one will challenge you. Well, I'll challenge you. Sorry, but I will. And like I said, don't care if you like it. Don't care if it makes me toxic. If me wanting to get you people out of the picture so more people move from just being pro-gun to being pro-2A, if that makes me toxic, then I'm proud to be toxic.
Oops.
Go ahead.
It's the lady at 46 South Road. 46 South Road.
Station one call, street zone that police. 10-4. Got the 4 to go to that location. This is 1-9, is that correct?